Hello, this is Sheila McGee-Smith. Many of you may know me, industry analyst in the contact center space. I've been covering it for about 35 years now. I am thrilled today to be on this video cast today. I have two guests. I have Angela Clark and Liam Dunne, and I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves. Angela, take it away.
Hi, my name is Angela Clark. I'm currently an employee working with Pfizer Communications. I've been there about 15 years now, working with their call center department and a lot of their voice and engineering services.
Excellent, thank you. And Liam, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Liam Dunne. I'm CEO and one of the founders of Klearcom. And I can't believe that Angela has been 15 years in Pfizer. It's crazy. Genuinely.
So the
You've
good
seen
news,
a lot of change in that time frame, I'm sure.
so the good news is we do not have to explain really who Pfizer is, because I know myself, I've been very involved with Pfizer for the last 5 years or so. But let's talk about your relationship with Klearcom as a partner.
Okay.
So Pfizer is using Klearcom services. What were the business challenges that you were looking to solve that brought you to Klearcom?
Initially, with the moving from a lot of the legacy PRI circuits, ISDN circuits over to a lot of the SIP circuits, we were channeling a lot of our traffic to SIP. So we had to migrate tens and thousands of numbers and circuits just to be sure that everything was working properly. We needed someone to come in and assist us so that we didn't have to one-off dial a number here, dial a number there. So on the voice side, we brought them in and they were able to assist us with effectively testing in a matter of minutes to be sure tens and thousands of our DIDs are actually working as expected. They're actually connecting properly. And we also utilize them on our call center side. We have multiple call centers that have toll-free numbers associated. Initially, we were kind of calling them ourselves or relying on watching our queues to see if things were working. And if things weren't working, then we have to get into action. However, with having Klearcom around, what they do for us, they call our numbers after hours, ensure that the toll-free numbers are connecting, also walking that IVR to be sure all of our prompts are working as expected also. So it takes a lot of stress off of our backs and to be sure that our call centers are working effectively. So they've been a great help to us.
Excellent, excellent. So were there alternatives to Klearcom, or did you just sort of how did you find out about Klearcom? That's actually
Well, we brought in a couple of carriers. We had a couple of carriers do demos for us, and we propositioned them with everything that we were looking for. And with Pfizer being such a large company, we needed someone that could assist us internationally. Some of the other carriers, they had pretty good services also, but they were very limited with what they could do for us internationally.
There's only one Klearcom, Angela. There might be alternatives, but there's only one Klearcom.
Exactly. So with utilizing Klearcom, they were definitely able to hit those major countries for us. Like I said, even with US off hours or whatever off hours we have internationally, they're there. They have someone around the clock to hit every number we have in every country. And with them having this scalability to provide those services in so many other countries, I mean, it was a no-brainer for us to choose them. And we're glad we did.
And thank you. Good to hear that.
I'm going to throw it to you, Liam, and I'm going to say, how do you come to have such a broad coverage that you were the right fit for Pfizer and Angela as they came to their issues?
It's been one of our core drivers of the business. I suppose there's a couple of things we aim to do. We aim to everything non-intrusively. So a big thing that when Angela and the Pfizer team were migrating all of these IVRs globally was they needed some way to discover them with zero integration, because often it's very hard to know. You're sitting in Texas and you have to know what's on an IVR in India or China or anywhere globally, even understanding what the language is, what they say. So our platform can dial in, discover, transcribe non-English to English, and give them basically an export, a visio of what should be on that IVR. So that was one of the big things. The second thing in terms of the coverage, I suppose, look, as a company, our background isn't just say IVRs and call center. It's actually telephony as well. So a bit like you guys and your own experience, one of our founders has come from the old TDM world back in its heyday and would have extensive connections globally. So for us, being able to spin up and get up to 100 countries, the largest of anybody else in the world, it's been challenging, but we've been able to do it in a very expedient way. And I suppose, Angela, customers like you drive that as well. So the important markets to you, you're telling us, and then we're going, hey, let's turn on fixed GSM in those countries and let's solve those problems. Because I remember actually when we were doing the migration, I remember we were turning on countries at the time. So say we're migrating in APAC, we might turn on 2 or 3 countries in a couple of weeks, be able to get that visibility and drive on because I think you had a deadline. You had to have everything migrated across. So it was a case of all hands on deck, all services on deck, all global coverage on deck, and let's get the job done. So it wasn't just SaaS platform. We had our client delivery managers helping with the process as well. And I think it was a great team effort. Angela, I not want to put words in your mouth, but can you say that back?
The team effort. Shut you down right now. And and let's move back to Angela. So one of the things that Klearcom makes available is a dashboard or something that Pfizer people can look at and work with. What is the value of that for your team?
Well, not only do we get the dashboard, but we also get weekly and monthly updates from a dedicated engineer within Klearcom that provides us the information of what they found on our layout. If there's an outage, we get automatic updates. Hey, this number is down and it needs to be addressed. Also, just watching that dashboard, it's like an addition to the information that comes over from the engineer and the automatic updates that come from the system also. So it's just an additional piece of security that we have that we compare that to what we get from the engineer and we know, hey, okay, our system is good, or hey, we need to actually look into these items that aren't working here. So the dashboard really helps out also.
Excellent. So what advice would you have for other global companies like you who are looking at the alternatives that you did, right? Klearcom or some of the carriers or even some of the other vendors who do testing. What advice would you have for them?
I spoke a little bit basically about what Klearcom does for us. They assist us on the voice side. They also assist on the call center side. I didn't mention they also assist us on the copper side. Like Pfizer had tons of POTS lines also that needed to be tested. We had several that were down, not working. We were paying for them. And we didn't know until we brought Klearcom in. We gave them that list. They ran with it and, it saved us a lot of money. So I would just tell any company, if you're looking to get a handle on your infrastructure, your billing aspects, any numbers that you have that any services that you're unsure about that are voice related, Klearcom would be a great addition to your team. And it takes a lot of work off of your hands. You give them the information and they just run with it. It helped us. It saved us so much time and so much money. We just can't thank them enough for what they did with us.
I'm so glad that you brought up that thing about we had lines that we were paying for that weren't connected to PBXs anymore, or nobody was using them, and yet they were on our bill because that's such a great aspect of the service that Klearcom offers. So, bring us home, Liam. What do you want all of our listeners to know about Klearcom and how to reach you?
First of all, I just want to say thanks a million, Angela, Team Pfizer. You guys are amazing to work with, and you set the standard why it's so easy for us to work with companies when they're as bloody professional as you guys. So it was amazing. You made it simple. I suppose, look, ultimately, why we are here is because of the switching economy. The global switching economy, according to Accenture, is worth 6.6 trillion annually. And that's because today customers don't complain, they switch. You've got a blind spot outside of your network, outside of your CCAS, outside of your carriers. And what Klearcom does is uncovers that blind spot. We give you visibility on the in-country piece. So what was previously unknown is now known. You can benchmark your CX, get a real-time alert if there's any issues, and resolve issues that are affecting your customers that you're unaware of. So if anybody wants to stop losing customers unwittingly due to poor delivery of technical services or unknown downtime costs, you need a company like Klearcom.
I'm going to wrap us up. I think there are a couple of places where companies should think about Klearcom. And one is, as you're making that move from premises legacy equipment to the cloud, either for, unified communications or for contact center, there's a moment where you're changing a lot of trunks and carrier services at one time, and to have that outside company take a lot off your plate, as Angela said a couple of times, is a good thing. I think the other piece that Klearcom brings is that proactive nature, right? You don't have to wait for something to go wrong. They will see that something's gone wrong even before perhaps you see it in your own contact center. So thank you all very much for listening to us. Thank you, Angela. It was great to get to know you as we do this.
Also.
Excellent. And Liam, keep doing what you're doing. You're good doing it.
I'll try. Appreciate it.